to introduce Orville Thompson.
Hi everyone, welcome to my office. I hope you are all comfortable wherever you are watching this. And I know for so many of you, this is your first SFR experience, and I know it's not what we are used to. But I am so proud of everybody who worked so hard to put on this virtual event and put it on so well. I'm proud of our home office leaders and consultant leaders who have presented great content. I'm grateful so many of you were introduced or reacquainted with our friend DeWitt Jones. His words and images have had such an impact on my life. The way he invites us to view the world is truly beautiful and inspiring. So much so we asked him a few years ago to select images for an installation of his work in the hallway outside Heidi's and my offices. So every day at work, I confront DeWitt's puffball and remind myself to see what is right with the world. In preparation for our keynotes this year, I went back and reread presentations and notes from previous years. One stood out. 2 years ago, I talked about hygge, the Scandinavian concept of nesting, simplification, and coziness. I talked about the ways the home office team had been working to lower the energy it required for you to be successful in your Scentsy businesses. It's always our goal to help you maximize the effectiveness of the time you dedicate to Scentsy so you can reach your goals while creating more quality time with your family and friends. Achievement at Scentsy is always viewed in the context of your entire life, not just how productive you are at turning wax and warmers into money. And while money is necessary, it is always secondary. Earning money should be the natural consequence of bringing value to the world. And bringing value to the world by helping people create a better world, by becoming and helping others become better versions of themselves is what Scentsy is all about. Now, I talked about the ways the home office had created for consultants to get more done with less time and effort. The first thing I talked about in 2018 was licensing. We announced our license agreement with Disney back in Anaheim, but licensing has been a part of our offering for many years. Our US college warmers, Major League Baseball warmers, and collaborations with brands like Mossy Oak have been around for many years. But we believed more licensed products could be a game changer. So in 2018, our revenues from licensed products grew 427% versus 2017 to $18.1 million. In 2019, we added Marvel and Star Wars. Revenues jumped another 206% to $55.6 million. In 2020, we are on pace to double last year's sales of licensed products, topping $100 million. Licensed products give you reasons to stay in contact with your customers. And customers now exhibit frustration when you don't stay in touch with them more than they show frustration that you contact them too much. How often do you now hear, "Why didn't you tell me that was coming out? My daughter wanted one so badly." Like the Jack Skellington warmer that became the fastest selling warmer of all time. That day we set new records in single hour day and month sales. The Child was the highest selling Scentsy Buddy ever with 171,000 units sold so far. And Scentsy is becoming one of the largest premium plush toy companies in the entire world. And of course, we now have 156,000 NFL warmers pre-sold. And the NHL warmers, the National Hockey League warmers coming out this fall will be equally epic. Now we are anticipating and have product and systems ready to sell more per hour on September 1st than we sold in the first 3 years of Scentsy combined, primarily driven by the excitement generated by licensed product. But the best news is these sales are not slowing the sale of non-licensed product. In fact, sales of licensed products stimulate sales and sponsoring across the board. Your success in selling licensed merchandise, and importantly, the classy way you follow the rules of marketing, have made Scentsy a sought-after licensed partner. So new opportunities will flow from the successes that we've had so far. So with licensing, in the last 2 years, all around great job. We couldn't be happier. Now, the second thing we talked about back then was Scentsy Club. The Scentsy Club is an incredibly valuable addition to how you sell product and service your customers. It is not easy changing the mindset of consultants who are used to doing things one way. So we've taken our time to make incremental improvements so the program is not only strong, but sustainable. But it also allows you to increase your customer base without increasing the time needed to service them. By the end of 2018, the year I discussed Scentsy Club at SFR, we had 12,000 subscribers and sold about $1.1 million through Club. At the end of last year, that number reached 33,000 subscriptions and $9.3 million. That is a growth of 730%. This year, we are continuing to more than double. So far, you have sold 25% more than last year, and we have the best 6 months of the year to go. One of the drivers of Scentsy Club is the third thing I talked about, the WHIFF box. In 2018, we introduced the WHIFF box and sold 49,555 of them. In 2019, that number grew to over 228,000. We have already sold more in 2020 than we did last year and hope to top 500,000 WHIFF boxes by the end of the year. That will be tenfold growth in just 2 years. The best part is so many of them are sold through the Scentsy Club. Now, many consultants, and I recommend this to you, use Scentsy Club and WHIFF box customers to reach their sales minimums every month, taking all pressure to be active or reach title qualifications away. Now, fourth, I suggested that you focus on earning the incentive trip. Not because I think the most important thing you can get out of Scentsy is a fabulous vacation, although that is pretty cool. The value of earning the incentive trip is the lessons you learn along the way. If you earn an incentive trip, you are successfully building your business into one that can bring you years of financial benefit and social benefit. Looking at the numbers, you accepted the invitation to earn incentives. In 2018, 3,545 consultants earned some level of an incentive trip. In 2019, that number grew to 7,970. In 2020, 10,750 people have earned Grow with the Flow, and thousands more will earn the incentive trip we'll announce in just a few minutes. These results are extremely encouraging. And all we can say is, well done, keep it up. We can't wait to spend a great trip with you sometime in the future. Now, if you haven't earned an incentive trip yet, I want you to know that it is well within your reach. It is not a contest stacked in favor of leaders with big downlines. It's not the way we do it. It's open to everyone, and consultants of all titles earn them every year. And every year, there are as many people on an incentive trip who joined within the year the trip happens as there are superstar directors who earn it. Finally, we introduced tools for self-serve reinstatement, party flipping, adding the host exclusive starter kit, and offered targeted strategic join promotions. That's what I talked about 2 years ago. Earlier this month, we surpassed 200,000 current consultants. Now, I know we aren't canceling people for inactivity during the pandemic, but the consultant count is growing for far more reasons than not canceling. We have better onboarding for new consultants, meaning more new consultants than ever are feeling connected to the programs available through Scentsy Success. In 2018, 6,413 consultants earned their starter kit by hosting a party and selecting the host exclusive kit. In 2019, that number grew to 9,036. So far in 2020, that number is 14,758. And we are on pace to help 27,000 people join Scentsy without having to spend any family money. Because remember, a consultant earns Scentsy money to spend on their family. They don't spend family money on Scentsy. And when we say contribute more than you take, it never means sending more money to Scentsy than Scentsy sends to you. Okay? Now in 2019, 2,035 parties were flipped. So far in 2020, that number is 4,495, up 336% year to date. Now, I know I've been throwing a lot of numbers at you, but here's the most important set of numbers to me. In 2018, 59,935 people joined Scentsy. Last year, that number grew to a record 99,100 who started a Scentsy business. But so far this year, we have sponsored 72,666 with 6 months to go. We'll blow the record away. Never before has the Scentsy opportunity been in such demand, and consultant success has been so measurable. But positive financial results can quickly become declining sales and shrinking teams if we do not understand that every human soul yearns to belong. Belonging is the human emotional need to be an accepted member of a community. And community is a feeling of fellowship as the result of shared attitudes, interests, and goals. Great sales and growing teams happen when more people desire to belong to the Scentsy family because they want to contribute more than they take. They live to warm, enliven, and inspire. They learn to embody simplicity, authenticity, and generosity. These family-like relationships are what we value most and what we most want to protect and nurture. And even our Scentsy cheer is based on relationship. When I say Scentsy, you answer spirit. Both pieces must be there. I call out to you and you answer. I invite and you join in. Together, we belong. Together, we rally around what we share in common and quickly forgive what would drive us apart. When Heidi and I started Scentsy 16 years ago, our goal was always to bring value to the world. When we wrote that, we weren't thinking about financial value. We've always believed, and I want to reaffirm today, that if we take care of our Scentsy family, money will always take care of itself. I know so many of you already understand this, and I'm so proud of that, and I'm so proud of you. Years ago, I was a scoutmaster, and I took a bunch of boys camping. As we did on almost every camp out, we started a fire. And as I observed the boys interacting with the fire, I developed what I call the code of the campfire. And I shared this a couple of times. Now, a campfire starts small with tinder and kindling, and then small sticks. In time, the fire is hot enough to add larger logs. At first, the campfire takes effort to build without giving off much heat. But eventually, as more logs are put onto the fire can burn high and hot. Now, when a campfire is burning high and hot, many people can sit around it and enjoy the warmth of the fire. The hotter it burns, the more those around the campfire can move back to maintain the right amount of warmth. Not too hot, not too cold. And as they all move back, more can join the circle and share in the warmth of the fire. As Scentsy increased in size and popularity, we all moved back, enlarged the circle, and made room for more people to join it, to join our Scentsy family. There was plenty of warmth for everyone, and we reached record numbers of consultants and set all-time high sales numbers. But as I warned back then in 2012, when I first presented this concept, we were not careful. And the story of too many campfires happened to us. As is often the case, people get wrapped up in the warmth and friendship of the campfire. They forget to care for the fire, using the abundant stack of wood nearby. They assume feeding the fire is someone else's responsibility. Without new wood added to the fire stops growing. Those around the campfire assume the fire has reached its peak and cannot get back to its former glory. And then what happens? Because the fire is neglected, it starts to cool. Someone moves closer to the fire, blocking others behind them from feeling the warmth. To stay warm, people jostle for position, blocking others in the process. Soon, few stay warm while many are cold. The rush for warmth continues as more scoot forward and others are left behind. People begin to leave to join other fires or leave the campfire experience altogether. The false belief in scarcity turned the beauty of an equally shared campfire circle into an ugly win-lose battle to control the warmth of a shrinking fire. After years of amazing growth, Scentsy saw its first decline in 2013 and 2014. Our fire was shrinking. I remember talking to Heidi during those years. We watched consultants leave the Scentsy campfire to join other campfires that burned bright for a while, but have since been sold off, put out, or have faded away. Now, we were heartbroken, not because they left our fire, but because we were unable to keep our fire burning bright. We felt we were letting them down. We were determined not to let a diminished fire be our legacy. I remember Heidi saying, "Nobody is going to out Scentsy. We poured our hearts and our heads and our money into overcoming the obstacles we saw. We upgraded everything, our people, our products, our programs. We threw everything into this campus, Scentsy Commons, to create a permanent sense of place for everyone who had or ever would choose Scentsy. We rallied our leaders. We dedicated our time and our hearts to authentically connect and love each of you. We put all of our effort into creating a culture where the Scentsy campfire would not only get back to its former glory, it would burn bigger and hotter and be a blessing to even more people. And this time, we wanted to build it to be resilient enough with strong enough leaders to never let the fire diminish again. Slowly but surely, belief was restored, systems improved, leaders matured, products improved, kindness was restored, enthusiasm was reignited, and the campfire started to build again. We knew Scentsy was back a few years ago when leaders started promoting again. Key metrics of success started turning green. Petty arguments started to become few and far between compared to previous years. People stopped complaining so much. Executives started working better together. It felt pretty good. But we had no idea what was about to happen on April 13th, 2020. People can tell you that I've been pretty good at predicting the future of Scentsy over the years, but I had no idea the level of achievement that was lying deep inside all of you. Let me share just a few more statistics that demonstrate the magnitude of positive change since we first heard superstar directors get together to rally you all to be active in April. In the second quarter of 2020, we have seen amazing results. Between 2013 and 2019, we averaged 8,680 total promotions in April, May, and June. In 2020, we totaled 34,860. In the previous 7 years, we averaged 7,219 new certified consultants. In 2020, we topped 21,600. We averaged 1,083 new lead promotions. In 2020, 7,308 consultants promoted to lead. Star promotions jumped from an average of 293 to 3,444 in 2020. That is impressive, but the top 4 titles saw even greater growth. Superstar consultant promotions jumped from 58 to 1,274. Director promotions skyrocketed from an average of 24 to a whopping 1,037. Finally, we averaged over the last 7 years, 3-star directors and 1 superstar director in the second quarter. In the second quarter of 2020, we celebrated 141 new star directors and 38 superstar directors. There is no other way of interpreting that data. What has happened in the last few months is breathtaking. But if we are to make sure we can maintain this level of achievement and consultant income growth, we must identify why it happened and commit to each other we will not let the campfire die. Over the past year, as I have been trying to answer for myself, why Scentsy? Why Scentsy now? I have spent a lot of time thinking about Scentsy culture. Is it really different than other direct selling companies? Is it really special? People tell us it is. If it is, how and why? In 2014, in Heidi's, I call it landmark keynote on Scentsy Spirit, you know, the one about childlike wonder and fireflies, she changed my perspective. She shared her experience watching the documentary I Am by filmmaker Tom Shadyac. I recommend it. In it, he suggests that the way the world is arranged is focused too much on how we are individuals in competition with each other in a zero-sum game, where your gain can only come from my loss, where only one of us can be the fittest in a Darwinian struggle for survival. We fail to see the interconnected nature of our existence. That keynote changed me and Scentsy. I started to see that there are some cultures that focus on the individual and their independent struggle to succeed. Where the world is divided in segments, competitive advantages are identified and exploited. Other people threaten to diminish what is there for the strong to capture. So we are taught to be strong, to go get ours before someone takes it from us. Winning is valued and victory is rewarded. This is a competition culture. It is the dominant culture of business and politics. But I also started to see what Heidi was trying to teach us all along. If we focus on the connective tissue, the cells will take care of themselves. Our skin isn't beautiful because we have good skin cells. We have good skin cells because of healthy blood flow to our skin. Have you ever observed a bunch of grapes? Connected to the stem, a bunch of grapes can last a long time. But separate a grape from the stem and it immediately starts to rot. We spend so much time trying to make sure we are the plumpest grape in the bunch, we forget to stay connected to the stem. We realized too late it was the stem and the combined vitality of all the grapes that kept us plump. What I am describing is a contrast to a culture of competition. It is a culture of cohesion. Now you might ask what I mean by cohesion. A quick word search will tell you cohesion is the act or state of sticking together tightly. Synonyms are unity, togetherness, solidarity, connection, or bond. What Heidi and I have tried desperately to do is create a cohesion culture where our hearts are knit together, where we value effort, embrace challenge, accept others for who they are, but never accept that where we are is the best we'll ever be. We cooperate to achieve together instead of compete to determine who is best. We set lofty goals and invite all to work toward them, and invite those who have reached high levels of achievement to reach down and help others match their accomplishment, rather than set up systems where the masses simply support the pedestal we use to prop up our winners. How cool is it that there are Scentsy millionaires who you can't pull out of a crowd because they would rather help you reach your goal than disclose they have reached theirs? A cohesion culture looks like a healthy family where love, support, a shared sense of purpose and destiny, and a spirit of cooperation permeate every interaction. Where we are only as strong as the weakest among us. Sure, it's ideal. It is the ideal of Christianity where Jesus says, "By this shall all men know ye are my disciples if you have love one to another." When love permeates our interactions, we become slow to judge and quick to forgive. We take the perspective that everyone has value. Everyone can belong, even those who don't yet seem to fit. Maybe they hold cringeworthy opinions. They lack social graces. They're combative or angry or foul-mouthed, or have said or done things that are hurtful or dark. We don't have to accept bad behavior, but we need to find a place in our hearts to hate the sin but love the sinner. We live in a world where media outlets that gain viewership by emphasizing outrage and social media algorithms that magnify controversy drive a cancel culture to silence people who don't believe the right way or say the right things. The problem with cancel culture is it doesn't discriminate. Unchecked, eventually everyone and everything will suffer the same fate. When we judge people by their worst moment or worst statement or their former state of ignorance, we too are judged at our worst. Nothing could be more isolating nor oppressive. Division, fear, anger, and hate are the causes and the consequences of modern cancel culture. We must learn from our past, however ugly or abhorrent it may be, or we will be forced to relive it. We can't learn from something erased. Now, here's a perspective to try when you feel a desire to cancel somebody, or even if you find them very difficult to be around. Imagine you're that person's mother or father, holding them for the very first time. You see them innocent and vulnerable. Your heart yearns for them to be happy, to grow up to be loved and supported and valued. You fear for the days they will be bullied or misjudged or neglected or lost. Put yourself in the place of their mother and then love them. A cohesion culture, Scentsy culture, is about shining the brightest light we have on the darkest places we find to bring the most value we can to a world of brothers and sisters who yearn to be loved and understood and belong. As thousands of people from all over the world join Scentsy, we need to help them catch the vision of our culture of unity, love, support, and shared accomplishment, the Scentsy family. Sure, I'm sure to many of you this sounds a little mushy, but that's because all of us have been surrounded by a competition culture that says love is weak and kindness foolhardy. But we can learn from the Buddha. Sometimes it's better to be kind than right. We do not need an intelligent mind that speaks, but a patient heart that listens. There is a scene from an old Jimmy Stewart movie called Harvey. Jimmy Stewart plays Elwood P. Dowd, a very sweet man whose constant companion is an invisible 6'3" white rabbit. Yeah, it's a real movie. In one scene, Elwood says something profound. Years ago, he said, years ago, my mother used to always say to me, she'd say, in this world, Elwood, you must be. She always called me Elwood. In this world, Elwood, you must be oh so smart or oh so pleasant. For years, I used to be smart. I recommend pleasant. And you can quote me. I love that. And I am changed by hearing it. As we wrap up SFR at home and prepare for a new season of great opportunity and a little uncertainty, I hope you can agree that how we treat each other, how we take care of our unique culture of love and respect for one another, how we help one another reach personal and collective goals makes this journey far more enjoyable and enticing. We mean it every time we tell you we love you. Heidi and I could not be more proud to call you our friends and colleagues. Until we can be together again, virtually or in person, please take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Thank you. We love you.